Hello, welcome back and welcome in. My name is Nikki Wheeler. If you're interested in gaming, go subscribe to my other channel and follow my Twitch to see my gaming live. Now, let's start this video. Today, I will be discussing Kahan. He has blown up extremely over the past year with his new album Stick Season, but he has had multiple other successes over his career that started during his high school years, but officially in 2019 with his debut record, Busy Head. This record was an alternative and indie rock record consisting of 10 songs. Some of my favorites were Mess, Save Me, Sink, and Title. With Mess, it felt like a lifeline song written for a shed of light on feelings of something overwhelming. The transitions between each act of the song was smooth and was well built. You can truly feel the emotion behind the words as he's telling a true narrative of his own life, and I find that to be one of the most talented portions of being a narrative writer like Noah and others like Alec Benjamin or Sleeping at Last. Telling a story is more important and has the highest value over production, and even then, the production is still extremely high quality, which just doubles up on everything. Lyrically, I think this song describes so easily what it is like to be clouded by judgment and overwhelmed by the world, and musically speaking, it makes the world seem to disappear. You would listen to this track to clear your mind because you can feel the emotion through the words, and it slowly drifts away knowing someone else is feeling it too and you aren't alone in it. The next song, Save Me, is about the one thing in life that is always there no matter what to support you and be unconditionally loving. Radiating the genuine support and love to have faith in something is easing as it is, but having a serenading track along with it like you were in a movie is even better. Having someone or something see something in you that you don't or can't see in yourself is much more comforting than people realize, and I think listening to this track will help imagine that thought and comfort. Sometimes we distort ourselves and our ideals and what we are worth because of our own reasonings, and this song allows us to see who we truly are. Musically, it is giving a bonfire setup with that person just hanging out with each other on a chilly autumn night in the middle of the forest for fun. I love how most of this album can be seen in my mind, and the mood is set from the second the song starts, and each one is a different scene. The third song I loved was Sink. It is yet another emotional piece attached to the emotions and experiences of being really drawn to someone. Lyrically, it showcases a strong connection and some dependency between the two people, and having a hard time saying goodbye, fear of separation, and some other things. The chorus further emphasizes the significance of this other person by singing, "She is a sheep when I need rest," which is basically just saying that the solace they bring is comforting. Later in this song, there is a false narrative being brought up and how it is damaging, and now this person is just jaded and no longer has unconditional feelings of solace. Going through the motions of the song was saddening, to say the least, but I found some sort of sympathy for the characters portrayed in this story. It was like a lullaby, and I loved every second of it. Being in a headspace full of vivid imagery is an experience not many people get to have when listening to music, so I can only be happy when listening to something like this. The final song from this album I wanted to talk about was Title. It's another song about emotional turmoil and self-discovery, accepting one's own solitude. The lyrics showcase a sense of introspection and is described best as the fluctuating state of happiness, stating it comes and goes like a tidal wave. The pre-chorus of this one is actually my favorite part. It explores the feeling of displacement, as if the singer is living as someone else when they're physically distant from home, and struggles to find solace under the vast emptiness of the sky, navigating the fears and trying to find peace by searching the world. Another reason this section is my favorite is because the way it shifts to the chorus by switching the narrative towards a decision to build a boat of self-reliance and isolation. It is a major jump from one moment to another, and it leaves you kind of dulled out, which I think was the goal. This song succeeds in every way imaginable because of the mature and concise writing style on top of the melodic rhythms. After all of the passion was surpassed, Noah came out in 2021 with the second album, I Was, I Am. It was another 10-track record, most of which followed the same pattern, but focused more on the future, checking off the person you were before and how that made you into the person you are now, and what person you will be in the future. Again, with the indie rock genre, but also some more anthemic pop folk, which continued into the third album. Some of my favorite tracks off of this one was Bad Luck, Fear of Water, Hollow, and Bury Me. I interpreted Bad Luck's lyrics to be about the narrator's reflection of his past struggles with alcohol and mental health, wondering if his partner would still be with him and love him if she saw what he once was and could possibly fall back into. I see it as a personal song about growth and how you perceive yourself is much different to how others perceive you. Allowing yourself to change is one big thing that so many people, including myself, struggle with. So, hearing this song helps a lot because what you see is different from what others may see, and that goes for everything, not just your physical or mental states. I think this one also opens the door for a conversation about addiction and possible EDs if you really think about it. We're human, and most of us are built to have some sort of knowledge of empathy towards other struggles, and that comes in all sizes. So I wonder if that could segue into a bigger topic at hand. The second song I liked was Fear of Water. I personally enjoyed the metaphoric relationship between love and water. It gives the idea of you having two options: floating in the euphoria love brings you, or drown in how heavy love can really be. You have to throw yourself into things to truly test out what would be and to be fully immersed in the experience. Jumping into a relationship with someone who does have some struggles, fully telling you that they have these issues with commitment or acknowledging their issues at face value is beautiful and brave at the same time. So, taking this song straight, it seems almost as if he wanted it to be loud. And I love that so much, and how there are actually multiple ways of taking this song as well makes it 10 times better. Hollow is another one of those songs that is similar to Bad Luck. It is speaking from an outside perspective, looking inward, and how not being able to leave or hide makes you confront these demons automatically. With Noah specifically, he had talked about this song and how it was written during his Busy Head tour and how COVID had happened and he had to cancel the tour, and he was so unsure of how he would survive because he didn't have the stable income of being on the road and making music anymore. I thought, since that was the case, you can interpret this song as a challenger, powering through one of the most difficult times even though you don't feel like it, and not knowing the outcome or waiting it out, again, not knowing what is to come. When the pandemic happened, no one knew what was going on. Ever. So, we had to do what was necessary to make ourselves fulfilled during that time and have the lasting fulfillment, and this song went heavily on that message. Bury Me was the last song I wanted to talk about from this album. It portrayed a toxic relationship finally ending and the realization of the environment being so bad. Obviously, this is easier said than done, but it's a lot better to end things where they are than to salvage something that isn't ever going to work. He understands that and has connected to the listener to show that he supports those who are in a situation and need help. This song exists for that reason and allows for so many opportunities of growth within the listener, and it has such a smooth sound and it is so hard to turn off. Now, the 1-year anniversary of the third and final album thus far, Stick Season, just passed in October. This body of work has blown up all over TikTok. It is another narrative album full of yearning and a lively and warm feeling based on the fall season in his home state of Vermont. While going through this album, you can find some songs that are poignant than some songs that are more lively and reminiscent. Some of my favorite tracks were She Calls Me Back, Everywhere Everything, Orange Juice, and Strawberry Wine. She Calls Me Back explores the complexity of a relationship and the emotions that come with it. It shows the power dynamics of the two and how it holds over the other's head. I think the phrase "she calls me back" implies that the person's presence or communication brings a sense of reassurance and allows them to be in line with themselves. The first song talks about and acknowledges the meaninglessness and insincere actions are bogus, and he is there for dedication to the other person's well-being. I love the simplicity of it all, and recently Casey Musgraves has gotten in on the track, and I didn't like it as much, but she did add her own flavor that I can see boosting the radio appeal for sure. In her version of the second verse, she talks about the exhaustion and the lack of tears to cry for something so trivial. Her voice itself seems like it coupled well with Noah's, but I like his verse too much better, where he says he doesn't get much sleep and how he sees them in every dream. It makes that ethereal feel seem much more real. So, the second song I wanted to talk about was Everywhere Everything. This one hits a little too hard some days because it's about embracing the present and treating it as such. Living your life to the fullest and enjoying every moment you can. You can also just have to trust yourself more and make the best of a difficult situation and listen to your heart, and when you make the mistake, know that it's okay and you have to just move on. The chorus emphasizes the point of the importance of loving each other in the world because in recent years we have grown farther and farther and farther apart based on thousands of factors, and the world has become divided more than ever. Bringing us together with music is one of the many ways I think so many artists succeed at and has made so many new friendships throughout the years. One of my closest friends to date is because of our music taste. Small triumphs are to be celebrated just as much as the bigger ones, and those smaller ones are what make life beautiful. Lyrically, I think this is one of the strongest pieces on this record, and it has such a grip on me. It was truly one of the only songs I listened to for like a week when I first heard it. Now, the third song, Strawberry Wine, shifts the moods back to grief and pain as he talks about the sweet and precious love cycle that ended and resulted in this pain. It is very reminiscent track, talking about conversations he had with his partner and how happy they were in the moment, which is one of my favorite tropes in music. Harry Styles used it a lot in his recent album and I fell in love with it. Sometimes trying to fix some issues and running it through healthily, but it still doesn't work out, and it probably hurts a lot more than the unhealthy coping mechanisms in relationships because it was a failed attempt rather than just not trying at all. One of the most heartbreaking things about this song though is the pre-chorus, because that is where we get the symbolism of strawberry wine being happy times and the sweetness he was thinking of, and how love changes a person. Matter of fact, love can be enacted within 4 minutes of meeting a person. So emotionally and mentally changing a person isn't completely off the table. Now, the final song I wanted to talk about is Orange Juice. It is a personal song about your own growth and renewal, mainly focusing on the self-destructive beginnings to the inner healing and coming out of the other side, painting the picture of absent loved ones and transitions to the questions needed from this loved one to continue through a period of growth. It's like a guardian angel situation, and I love the imagery thrown in to actually move the story along, and my favorite part was probably verse 2. Lyrics like, "You just asked me to hold you, but it made you a stranger and filled you with anger." It kind of added so much definition to the emotional damage people don't think about when thinking of physical incidents, and this verse was the reason for leaving to get sober and fix themselves. Overall, this album showcases the reminiscent and yearning for growth sides of Noah that he was trying to pull himself to get with previous albums. Finally reaching the point of no longer being self-destructive takes so much time, and I'm glad that he is at a point in his life where he isn't overwhelmed all the time like he was with Busy Head. Now, this is where I wanted to rank the albums. This is going to be a best to worst scale, but I enjoyed each album, though some are just truly better than others just based off of composition, lyrics, and instrumentals. At number 1, I have Stick Season, number 2 is Busy Head, and number 3 is I Was, I Am. I think that is also where I will leave this video. If you enjoy Noah Kahan, you can check out some other artists like Alec Benjamin, Lizzie McAlpine, Hosier, and even Bryn. All of these artists are well respected and have the Nikki Wheeler seal of approval. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. Comment down below for what I should cover next, and until next time, bye guys.